What's up, everybody? Good morning to you, and happy holidays. I know Thanksgiving is coming up tomorrow, so today, bringing to you a little bit of a brine recipe for geese. It's kind of something that my pops has handed down to me, and this is the year. I'll be truthfully honest. Like this is like the first year of like I'm really like actually, really getting real serious about this whole brining stuff. Um, Normally, for me, because I don't mind the gamey taste of wild animal, for ducks, goose, deer, turkey, squirrel, rabbit, it doesn't bother me as much. I've become a lot more used to it, and so to me, I eat it and it's no problem at all. So, but today, um, I'm coming to you with a nice brine for goose. Um, so today, uh, the brine includes two different bottles of wine. You want to make it a dry red wine, something that really gets in there and really breaks down the goose meat and kind of gets rid of that gamey taste. And I should have showed you earlier, but the red wine that I found was this Menage a Trois. Let's see if we can. Um, $10. Nothing much. I got, with the size of the bird. Depending on the size of the bird, that's what how you kind of want to base how much you use. But uh, today we went ahead and filled up the bucket. Um, two bottles of wine. You want to get three oranges, cut them in half, and before you put them into the bucket, squeeze some of the juices out of the oranges, and then just throw the rest of the orange in there. Um, and you want to do that with all three of them. You want to get Worcestershire sauce, soy sauce, and it's about a half a cup each. Just all depends on the size of the bird that you shot. If you've got a 6 pound goose or 7 pound goose, something like that, them bigger birds, you're gonna want to increase your um, you're gonna want to increase your uh, your I don't want to say serving sizes. You want to increase your measurements by I want to probably say like a tablespoon, maybe two. Just all depends. And then also another three key ingredients is sage, rosemary, and thyme. Now, if you can get this stuff, fresh, or go to a food market and get those three items, those three seasonings fresh picked. I mean, that's even better. Sadly, I didn't have that choice. That's about as fresh as I'm gonna get. We have a local fresh thyme store, and they sell all fresh as it can be, and organic fruits, seasonings, whatever the case may be. I guess you could say it's a healthy store. But so, and once you've added all those in, then if you want to, you can add, a couple tablespoons of salt. I like sea salt. It's better for you instead of, the regular salt. Uh, and then also, after you've added everything in, you want to fill the bucket up with the rest of the with water till you get about an inch from the top of the boot, gosh darn it, about an inch from the top of the goose. Fill it up with water till you get to about that point. Let it be, and then you just want to stir everything up, mix it together, and then after you're done with all that, you're just going to take your spoon and just stir it. You want to get everything mixing, get everything going. You just want to get everything mixed up. You want to get everything, all together. You want to get those ingredients starting to bind together. and just let this ferment. I mean, so this isn't getting cooked until tomorrow, probably around like, I don't know. I don't get to Indiana, is where I'm going to see my brother, but we're not gonna be getting up there until probably about like 2 o'clock or so. But so this is just like, I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like on the inside of this bucket. Yeah, you're gonna think I'm weird. It's a 5-gallon bucket, and it's like, what? Well, why is it, you know, look, this is a food safe 5-gallon bucket. And it's just, you know, when you get into these bigger birds, I'm gonna tell you right now, when you get into bigger birds, I mean, when you get into turkeys or, you know, big geese and stuff like that, and you know, what's also nice about this bucket is if I want to do 3 or 4 ducks or a couple ducks and a goose in this, I can fill this sucker up and have, you know, a couple birds going in this. Now when it's a turkey, you're pretty much limited to 1. But so here's the inside. You know, there's my thyme, my sage, my rosemary is buried in there somewhere, but then there's the oranges. So basically what I do with my oranges, I just cut them in halves, squeeze some, and then threw the whole lot in there. And that's the goose in there, and you can see it's about 1 inch from the top. But so that's everything. And now what I'm gonna do here, taking my lid. All right. Push that on. Give them snaps. That's what we want to hear. All right. Let's take this off. Let's be honest, I don't need this. But yeah, so that's that. And then once you put it in, you know, before you put it outside in the cold temperature, or before you put it out or in the fridge, outside fridge, whatever. Before you do that, give it a good shake. Tumble everything around in there. Get everything all mixed up. So I'm gonna go put this in the fridge, or not in the fridge, but put it in the outside. Our temperatures have gotten pretty cold. We had a massive storm that had a big cold front on the back end of it come through, and it has just basically plummeted our temperatures. Sadly, I'm not out goose hunting or duck hunting right now. But at the same time, I think it's a little too windy. I mean, winds right now up to like 30, 40 miles an hour or so, or maybe less. They may have dropped. I don't know, but just by looking out this window here, still pretty windy outside. But I'm gonna put this outside, and I'll be right back with you. So that's pretty much that for today. You know, I love cooking. It's something fun I like to do. I enjoy making good food for people. And plus today I'm excited. I haven't gotten to see my brother in a while, and you know, the fact he was like, hey, can you bring a goose? And it's like, well, I got some duck, and I'll see what I can do. And so luckily enough, I was able to get a goose, get my hands on a goose, and a wild one, not one of them store-bought ones. I prefer wild over store-bought any day of the week. But yeah, so I was able to get that accomplished. And then last night while we're out and about, we're buying these bottles of wine, and I'm thinking they're just the screw tops. No. We're heading home, and I'm like, hey babe, those are screw tops, right? Those aren't, you know, corks. She goes, no, I think they're corks. And I'm like, we got a bottle opener, right? And she goes, I don't think so. And I'm like, so she's feeling around the bottles, and then finally she pops the little wrapper off the top of them. And sure enough, they're corks. And here we are scrambling around, and golly, going through these stores. You know, I figured all these wouldn't be too bad. But then sadly, they don't have bottle openers. the guy tells me, well, we got all the wine in the world, but no bottle openers. And I'm like, well, that's just peachy. So, but yeah, that's the recipe for a good brine today. I mean, overall, it's a good general base brine, and it's gonna help break down all the acidity in there from from the orange, from the wine. Then you have your salt, your sage, thyme, and oh gosh darn it, sage, thyme, and rosemary. Then you have your Worcestershire sauce. Then you have your soy sauce. All those different ingredients are going to help break down the goose meat. Going to help take away that game taste. And over on the end, after you're done smoking it, like with that goose, when we put it on the smoker, we're going to take a bunch of bacon and wrap it in bacon. And maybe take an apple or something like that, shove it in the goose, so that way, as it's cooking, it's getting that fruit acidity into it and helping with, helping flavor the goose at the same time. But I've also got a good base for it. I'm going to be using same bottle of wine, a bottle of it, and then you got your orange marmalade, and then minced garlic. And you're basically just going to take all them, whisk them together as much as you can, put them on heat a little bit, reduce it, just to kind of get everything to really combine together. And while it's heating up, you want to stir it up, get everything mixing together, and then once you're done with that, then you're going to take it and go from there, and that's going to be your base for your goose. So that while your goose is on the slow cooker, you baste it, and basically with your goose, you cook it until, in a sense, till your bacon's done. You can cook it to where your bacon is nice and crisp, or to where it's just at that point to where you like to eat it. But for me, when I'm cooking goose on a slow cooker, I prefer to try to get my bacon to where it's a little more crisp, so that way I know for sure my goose meat is done. And with goose and duck, you don't cook it to where it's completely done. You cook it to where it's a little pink in the middle, and that's it. The goose and duck meat do not get cooked all the way through, because then you take the moisture, the tenderness out of the bird, and you're just basically drying meat up, and at that point it just doesn't taste good. But so that's it for today. Again, y'all have a good one. Bless you guys. Happy holidays to you. Y'all have a good one. This is Brine with the Waterfall Life checking out. That's the girlfriend. Y'all have a good one. See ya.